And I think that actually works as a good jumping off point to talk about Alfredo 2. Because in some ways, I was seeing a little bit of backlash towards Alchemist for potentially kind of phoning it in or being a bit predictable on this new album.
Well,
Like
so
maybe
there was
some
the
people
AI
are a bit
controversy,
but I think that his style of music is becoming artisanal. You come here for a specific mode. He has a very specific way of making these beats, and this is what you want. And yeah, I feel like some fans that want every new album from an artist to be a switch up of genre, or working with a completely different
if it's not broken,
producer.
Don't fix it. Like,
yeah, as a matter of fact, like my friend Keelan and I were talking about this earlier today. Who do you think is a better director, David Lynch or Kubrick? And I'm like, I gotta say Kubrick because like he has like both of them have their specific style, but Kubrick has like a
wider range
of genre, and it sort of led into this whole discussion about what do you think versatility makes a good artist.
You need to have your own identity and forge yourself. And really, if you're going to become a master at any craft, you have to do one thing really well. And Alchemist does this sound the best of anyone else, really. And I fully am confident that he has made and can make a different style and sounding beats. He's done it in the past. We've seen it. But he does generally stick with this certain style that we have seen for the past however many years. But that's not a unique take. Even Rad Lusso, I was saying to him yesterday, member of Fanny Pack, I was explaining how, like, oh yeah, Freddie Gibbs dropped an album with Alchemist, and he was like, we can't, like, Alchemist is doing too much. So there's too much Alchemist. He needs to take a break, like once every 2 years type shit. I mean, I understand. It might be a hot take, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I understand how that people can think that way. He's a workhorse.
He put out like 3 or 4 albums last year, and like, but I think I read like he's put out like 70 albums since like 2010 or something
it's
crazy
insane,
like that. And some people were saying that like Alchemist really he made his mark in the early 2000s, and he's been kind of skating off of legacy for the last 10 years or so.
You can't say that because he's only gotten better, and he's bigger than ever. Like, that's not a mistake. Like, that's not like, yes, but just because he was kind of made his way in the early 2000s, that doesn't mean that's where his best stuff lies.
But I think that
he was still figuring out his craft.
This convo also jumps off of JPEG Mafia's comments that he made a while back.
I don't know
where he was kind of saying Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist and them, they've been doing the same song over and over for how many years.
Right. I see that.
From JPEG's perspective, he's like, I want to hear different. I'm always doing different. I think it's okay for artists to try to hold each other accountable like that.
Yeah.
But JPEG Mafia, he also could have just shut the up.
He's a bit of a clown, honestly.
Like he's always ruffling
It's always in other
feathers.
people's business, really.
He's a little too online.
But I like JPEG Mafia, but I go to JPEG Mafia for that different sounding shit. But also, it would be ignorant to say that JPEG Mafia doesn't have a sound. He has a sound. It's this glitchy experimental shit. Just because it doesn't sound like other shit doesn't mean that he's always doing something different. I'm not as familiar with his whole discography. Maybe it is all different.
Yeah.
But he also has a sound that he worked towards a lot, and his majority of his catalog seems to be this kind of style of stuff.
But I think this comes back to what Josh was talking about of like certain rap fans, they want to hear something different from the artist every time. Yeah. They want to be surprised about the switch up. Other people, I'm looking to this album, I'm looking for a warm blanket.
Yeah. I feel like it's a bit ignorant to see Freddie Gibbs' Alchemist album and expect anything than what we got.
This is going to be hyper pop or something.
Like, why would you think that?
No, I think some fans, they go into it with that expectation, and if you're not constantly switching them up, they're like, no, boring, crap, try something else, And I respect that people that are genuinely just want to hear good, interesting shit.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, we're sitting here complaining when these people are putting out great classic albums.
Alchemist is putting out so much volume every year. Like, it's insane. And also, this is a sequel to an album that came out not long ago.
So if it is a little bit derivative, that's
because it's a sequel. It's not supposed to be that different from the first one. And we have sequel songs here as well. Like, it doesn't,
But another thing Josh said that sparked my mind was the David Lynch thing. I get that with certain Alchemist songs where it's like, this song is so dreamlike that it's kind of nothing. And I think he goes into that downbeat, songs that are downbeat, they can be the best. They can be, they can just not make any like much of an impact because you're sleeping through it. Yeah. Sonically, I think he is influenced by David Lynch's dreamlike style of sound and visuals and everything. And yeah, there are certain songs where I'm like, I can identify that this one I doesn't stick out to me because it's too backgroundy or something. But then when I actually try to listen to it again and really take it seriously as a music reviewer, I'm like, there's no way in hell I can say this is bad. Like,
no, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just
doesn't make an impact. But
it's not as good as some of the other stuff. Like the preference still, like, you can still have a preference in all of this. Is what we're saying. Like, you can still always have that preference. If you're not a fan of that kind of sleepier shit,
yeah,
that's fine. But it doesn't mean that it's bad. Like,
Lynch has coined a term. Like, if you say something's weird and dreamlike, you call it Lynchian. Like, that's how much of an effect this man has had. And like, if you want to like your name to be associated with something, then you got to do it over and over.
That's the thing, is that there's so like, we have said on this podcast, you can probably make a compilation of us saying Alchemist type beat.
Yeah,
of beats that aren't Alchemist. He has created this whole something so specific. You can turn to it and someone can hear one note of a song and be like, this is Alchemist, or one note of someone else's song and be like, this is like Alchemist. And the fact that that is like something that makes sense to a lot of people, how is that not anything but an achievement?
Yeah, but I think that basically all these things added up to an online context where it was a hot take to say Alfredo 2 sucks, Alchemist is phoning it in, I'm sick of this boring shit. With the fact that he was already being criticized for using AI in promotion of this Erykah Badu thing, there was already some anti-Alchemist sentiment being built up there, so there was a bit of an opportunity to be a contrarian person on. But I try to look at these discussions in good faith and say these people are fans of music and they want to hear good stuff. But if we're being completely 100% keeping it a buck, this album is not trash. It's really good.